Male pattern baldness gets more funding than ME/CFS does. I read about it and I cry. I cry because my life has been destroyed. I've lost so much, and it doesn't have to be this way. My name is Susan Battle, and the disease I have is ME/CFS, which is Myalgic Encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome. Researchers don't know exactly what it is. They don't know one thing that causes it. They believe it's an autoimmune disorder and that it affects a lot of different body systems. They don't know what causes it, and there's no cure. It means because many different body systems are affected that you can get a long list of symptoms, and different people's bodies respond differently to it, which is really frustrating. I used to be a big swimmer, swimming a mile a day, no problem, and I loved it. And then all of a sudden in this time period, I would swim for 5 minutes. No kidding, 5 minutes. And then I was in bed for 2 days. I just couldn't get myself out of bed. But in the early days, because doctors didn't know what to look for, they would just run your standard tests. Those tests, nothing shows up wrong. You look like a completely healthy person. So you had these doctors then dismissing their patient. It was just, there's nothing wrong with you, you're just stressed in your marriage, you just need to rest a little bit more. It's psychological, completely trivializing. You know, in the early days, after I'd found out this is what I had, if somebody asked me what was wrong and I said chronic fatigue syndrome, 9 times out of 10, they were dismissive. Oh yeah, I get really tired too. You know, I just drink more coffee. When the CDC called this chronic fatigue syndrome, it made it less significant than other difficult disorders. I've had it since 2005. Early on, I had periods where I could function fairly well as long as I was just careful. These last few years, certainly since about 2012, I've either been bedbound or homebound. I have the brain fog, which is, it's just really difficult thinking through things, putting thoughts together. When I get stressed, I often stammer, which I never used to do. Making decisions is often really taxing and it causes me anxiety. Another symptom is the crushing fatigue. It's always there. Small tasks, making a smoothie, completely wears me out. You know, just somebody, my husband opening up the front door coming back from an errand unexpectedly. Not only do I get anxious in the moment, it's like all those chemicals that are released keep releasing. You know, for the next 20 minutes, I'm still feeling that response. I don't like leaving the house. I feel secure in the house. Leaving makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable around other people. It's difficult for me to talk to other people. My sister might call me, but I would say 50% of the time I'll say, oh, I can't talk right now. But before COVID-19, my sister would come over once a week with her dog, and that I could handle. And sometimes I'd just be lying on the sofa. I have digestive discomfort. I am making my meals, and that's really tiring. So that's something else I've had to figure out. I'm on a lot of different medications. All of it's really hard. Losing all my friends, not seeing family, not being a part of my daughter's life as much as I would have liked while she was growing up. People in the medical industry give short shrift to it. All of it is miserable. We have 2 dogs, Boo and Bear. It really helps with my anxiety, and they just make me feel better. It's really important to look at your life and see how you can make it as easy as possible and as enjoyable as possible if you can. I mean, there are certainly times when you just don't enjoy anything. Just everything is miserable. Everything is a constant trade-off. So it helps having another thing to try so that when the thing you're currently doing doesn't work, you don't get as sad because you're on to the next thing. It's really helpful having a spouse or children or friends who believe in you and are supportive and want to know how they can help. That makes such a difference.